Sometimes we don't realize how much power we have as youngsters in this country. We are the future, and it's up to us as to how we create our future. Let's use photography to tell our stories. Let's use art and music like John Lennon did. Let's use our streets for peaceful and non-violent events as this. Let's use the Aussie barbecue together with people and discuss refugee issues. Let's contact the organizations that support refugees and ask them what we can do. Let's use the laptops, the tablets, phones to write letters to our politicians and to our local members of parliament. Let's use our local libraries and schools to educate young students to avoid history being repeated. Let's stage movie nights together with our friends to see and discuss films like Muhammad and Mary. Let's share the happy stories of former refugees who are doing well in Australian community. To change the system, we have to be systematic.
And what we have there at the moment are about 40 refugees that are facing indefinite detention. That's actually what they're doing, indefinite detention. They're going to be locked up for the rest of their living life. That to me is absolutely shocking. It's shocking. A lot of people don't believe me when I say it to them, but it is true. They have a negative ASIO assessment. Now, ASIO is not locking them up. ASIO says they don't need to be locked up. It's actually our government, and our government has the power tomorrow to release these people. A lot of them are facing now 4 years in detention. So we're talking about not being able to leave a compound for 4 years, not being able to see your family for 4 years. One of the men I visit has just spent in detention his daughter's 4th birthday. Now, he is not going to last to the 5th birthday or the 6th or the 7th. He will most likely do something that someone tried a few months ago, which is try to take their life. So we are facing at the moment some really harsh times out in Broadmeadows. So I'd like to encourage anyone to come and visit. Anyone can visit a detention centre. Anyone can meet refugees face to face.
As you all know, a lot of people died under Tony Abbott government. If Tony doesn't care about all the people dying at sea or suffering in the water for days, or the people who are locked up like animals, or the people who seek asylum from rape, torture and poverty in Papua New Guinea, then what makes Australians think he will care about them? I haven't seen my cousins for years. I missed all weddings. I missed my second cousin being born. Missed the happiness of Eid. Missed hanging around with cousins. I would never, ever, never thought that I would leave Iraq and come to a really far away country. It's not good to go somewhere that you don't feel welcome. Without positive refugee policy, Australia is losing great opportunities to change the lives of good people. Even though sorry is not enough, I would like Kevin Rudd, Tony Abbott to apologize as former and current Prime Ministers of Australia to refugees whose own life or those of their loved ones were lost at sea under their government. Thank you.
Now, why are we meeting in front of Sir Redmond Barry? Because he hung Ned Kelly, didn't he? Yeah, he's behind me, isn't he? So he'll hang us. So especially those who are trying to get... Where's that woman with the guitar? We were going to sing a song, weren't we? What were we going to sing? All we are saying is give refugees a chance. Is that? Yeah. You can short it down. You can't So I find it intellectually offensive because there's a zombie myth around. You know what a zombie myth is? It's a myth that you can't kill. And that's the myth that's keeping people in detention and away from Australia. It's only a myth. The Aussies have been frightened of people coming to this country ever since we frightened the Aboriginal people by coming to this country ourselves. See, we're the original terrorists because we shouldn't have been here. And if we came here, we should have been grateful for being allowed in. And therefore, we should have done the opposite to keeping people out. You're supposed to learn from what people do good for you and end up doing good for them. So this should be the most hospitable country in the world. And unfortunately, I don't know what you're going to do about it because you're young, you've got a few years ahead of you. I've only got 5 minutes. You know, one false move, I fall down amongst that stuff. You see, I'll end up a barbecued Bob, you know. That'll be nice. That'll make the front page tomorrow. But I'm terribly grateful for the invitation just to be here and show a bit of solidarity amongst the workers, especially with your generation, because your generation is going to be able to do something about the predicament that we find ourselves in. And us old ones are going mad because there's so many things being fed into us by the media about tragedies all over the world until we get to the stage where we say, for God's sake, stop. And then they know they've got us because we can't be bothered worrying about what's happening on our own neck of the woods. And what we're doing to refugees is absolutely criminal. It may even, anybody here go to church? It might even be a sin. You see what I mean? Now that's the big one if you go into church, but how many churches are there in the CBD and they'll be singing hymns on Sunday and they may even be singing hymns tonight. And they're all singing about, oh God, please look after the refugees. But at the same time, by the time they've left the service station, the church, they end up going away and doing nothing. Now, I don't understand that. Here you are tonight, you're prepared to do something. And please God, you're not going to be slacktivists and come to meetings and talk about these things, but you're actually going to do something. I don't know what you can do, though. I don't know whether you have to lie down in front of the tram or what you have to do to draw attention to the fact that we're perpetrating a crime on innocent people, and that's it shouldn't be coming from this country, Australia, because we're blessed. We've got everything. There's nothing that we haven't got, and we've got so much that we should be sharing it with others, because that's the height of wisdom. And all the stuff that's going on, I don't know how you put up with all that stuff going on now with Mr. Morrison. Is it Mr. Morrison? That man. Because in fact he won't even answer questions that are being asked of him by the people. The 99% want to know what's going on. The 1% is refusing to answer the questions. I don't understand that. But thanks for having me here tonight. I can't do much except go out in public like an old bloke, 80 years of age, and keep reassuring you that you're on the right track. For God's sake, don't be distracted from it. But you'll have to stick to it. And that's what I'm here to try to beg you on my I can't bend my knees. Bend on me stiff knees about don't give up, because there are people who, without you, they will lose the one thing that makes us different from anybody else who's rolling around in the universe, and that's hope. So thanks once again for assembling here on the steps of this, despite the bloke who's breathing down me neck behind me. We want to reverse what he did, although the bloke that he sent to the gallows had a very wise thing to say at the end, didn't he? When he said that you and I will be meeting before another tribunal. Didn't he say that? And then he said, such is life, and then off he went. So his ghost may be heard as we pass by this statue. Who'll come a waltzing Matilda with me? And that's what we should. Can you sing that? Where's that woman with that thing?